Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Organiser this week. We have this time our editorial on sedition law, which has been a very big talking point in the last week. We all know how the Supreme Court had ordered put a pause on this sedition law, and the thrust of the editorial is that it should be amended. It should not be abrogated, because this is a very serious, there are serious issues concerning the national security and other issues. So I'll read out one portion of it. The present sedition law, by definition, excite disaffection towards the government enshrined in law and create scope of abuse. That is correct. But there should be a balance. The balance between freedom of speech and its regulation for ensuring public order, national security is the fundamental question haunting all forms of democracy. So this is major issue which we have editorially commented. And this time, ahead of this, we all know that we have another program coming up. Or Bharat Prakashan is holding a media Maha Manthan. It's a media conclave in which all chief ministers, some of the prominent chief ministers, Yogi Adityanath, Pushkar Dhami, and other important chief ministers of BJP ruled states are coming and participating in this major event. Ahead of that, we have covered extensively the issues concerning the media in India and also the world over. So the contours of free speech is discussed, is the refrain of this cover story. So we can say that in the last 1 week, the media, there has been a lot of discussions about how media freedom is faring in India. So the major triggering point was that the World Press Freedom Index was out, and you all know that who are behind this, who are churning out this Press Freedom Index, and they have placed the left liberal cabal that is responsible behind this index, churning out this index, and it has placed as predictably in the lower positions, that is 150th position. So, and it is even below many Islamic countries which are where human rights conditions are very low, abysmal, and India figures in the last portion of the among the 180 countries which it had surveyed. So that is coming out in the more than 60% of the space which we have devoted for this particular issue. So is media freedom absolute? There are then we have also covered how the champions of free speech, some pretend to be the champions of free speech, and when they come to power, they become tormentors. Like Mamata Banerjee, for instance, you have seen a lot of journalists being attacked by TMC goons in the last many years, in the last more than 6 years. They have been doing this, and in other places also. For instance, the left has been the champions of free speech in Delhi, but down south in Kerala, how their media infested with left card-holding communists, how they are succumbing to the pressures of the Islamists. That has come out very well, written by Parvati Kumar. It is a very wonderful case studies have been given in that particular story, and also in Tamil Nadu, for instance, how the media has been party to suppressing the free speech is clearly come out in the Tamil Nadu report. And you all know how this Twitter, big tech, social media giants, how they are controlling this free speech. They impose censorship in the name of free speech. This is the irony that has come out also in this report by Vogflix, which is an anonymous Twitter handle, and it has been sort of suspended for sharing a cartoon. This is the kind of Twitter censorship that is taking place in the country. So there is a positive story also, how this, despite stringent criticism, how Assam government, BJP ruled Assam government has never arrested a journalist or taken an action against, hostile actions against journalists. That has not happened. So that is also been very neatly covered by our reporters. And you all know how in the last, right from Nehru's time to Sonia's time, the successive Congress governments have stifled or trampled upon media freedom. Even the cover of this Organiser is an example of how Nehru Nehru has brought in the First Amendment to the Constitution to stifle the free speech or media freedom. So that is a major issue we have covered, and I think we all like it. And the other major issue is the Rakhi Gadi excavations. See, in the Rakhi Gadi excavations, new discoveries have come up. This has hit the nail on the so-called the Aryan invasion theory, which has been promoted by the colonial historians and the left historians. So you all know that there is they have discovered a jewelry manufacturing unit that has also been very extensively covered, and by one of the most prolific writers, archaeologists, Harishankar and Alok Paul. That is then we have regular columns, Goa Fest, and there is something called Sita Navami. We are not much aware of it, but there is something called Sita Navami, which is celebrated in parts of Bihar and Nepal, where which is the birthplace of Sita, and that is also dealt with in this edition. Then we have regular columns like book review. This is the book is the English medium myth. It talks about how you don't need to be proficient in English to sort of become successful. That is the crux of this book, and it was written by Sankrant Sanu and reviewed by Parvati Kumar. Very good interview, book review. And also we have Indic Wisdom by Nandkishore Tiwari, Guru Nandkishore Tiwari, and it talks about yoga and other benefits, and the most important columns, the temple column, the temple light elevates experience. This is about the temples of India, and I hope you all like this edition, and thank you so much, and grab your copies. Thank you.